Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsay's Little Library. So I thought I would hop on today and share with you some new releases that are coming out in June that I'm super excited for. So I'm kind of new to the whole, let's kind of keep an eye out what's coming up in the future to be released. And the reason I've been kind of watching lately is there's some really awesome books that are coming out. And if I'm excited for them, I thought I'd share them with you because I'm sure you're excited for them as well. So I have a handful of them that are coming out and being released in June. A lot of them are being released on June 7th, which is there something special about that day for book releases? I feel like there's just a lot. But we'll talk about them and try not to keep this somewhat short. All right, so The Sanctuary by Charlotte Duckworth is going to be available June 7th. This is a new thriller. And we have 4 pregnant women, 3 nights of pampering, an exclusive yoga retreat. All 4 were invited there, and 1 too many deadly secrets is kind of what it is saying. So we have a remote farm in the deepest countryside, so totally isolated. 4 pregnant women arrive an exclusive yoga retreat for a 5-star weekend of prenatal pampering. It's kind of like one of those things you can't not go. Their host is eager to teach them all she knows about pregnancy and motherhood, but like Selena, the host, each of the women has a secret, and secrets can be deadly. I think what I'm so intrigued about is the fact that they're all pregnant. Like that element just even adds a little bit more what's going to happen with this isolated thriller. I don't even know, but I'm here for it. Next one I want to talk about is Aurora by David Cope. Again, June 7th. Little sci-fi-ish with this one, in my opinion. So we have Aurora, Illinois. Aubrey is trying to get by after her semi-criminal ex-husband left her. And he's gone. He's not coming back. And she has her teenage son she needs to take care of. And he is not the easiest kid in the world. And then the lights go out. Not just in Aurora, but across the globe. A solar storm has knocked out power almost everywhere, and suddenly all problems are local, very local, and Aubrey must assume the mantle of fierce protector of her suburban neighborhood. So across the country lives Aubrey's estranged brother. So we have Tom. He is beyond wealthy, and he's a Silicon Valley CEO, like just oodles of money. And he plans to ride out this whole entire crisis in his bunker that he has built for himself, kind of, for the doomsday, in maximum comfort and security. But the complicated history between the siblings is far from over. What feels like the end of the world is just the beginning of several long overdue reckonings, which not everyone will survive. What? I'm excited. Next one I have, again, really intrigues me. It's called Counterfeit by Kristen Chen. This is also available June 7th. It says money can't buy happiness, but it can buy a decent fake. So that drew me in right away, as well as the cover was intriguing. So we have Ava, always played it safe, very straight-laced, follows the rules, sticks to the middle of the road, doesn't take risks. She's a lawyer, and she's married to a successful surgeon, and they have a young son, beautiful home, perfect life. But beneath this, her world is crumbling. Her marriage is falling apart. Her law degree hasn't really been used in years. She's dealing with a lot of toddler tantrums, and she's being pushed to a breaking point. So then we enter in Winnie. She is a old college roommate of Ava's, and she abruptly kind of dropped out of school in the middle of school under very mysterious circumstances. And so it's 20 years later, and Winnie is looking to reconnect with her old friend. Seems like the perfect time. But this girl Ava once knew has been replaced with she used to be really shy and very closed off and very introverted. And now it is a very confident woman, dripping in luxury goods, and totally different than who Ava remembered. And so what is the secret? Winnie's developed an ingenious counterfeit scheme that includes importing near exact replicas of luxury handbags, and now she needs someone in the US with a US passport, because she's from China, to help manage her business. Someone who no one would ever suspect, and someone like Ava. So they team up. What could go wrong? I don't know, but I'm here for it. Let's see. Next one I have The Woman in the Library by Sullery Gentile. And this is out June 7th. And I've been hearing, first of all, this cover is freaking amazing. I love it. I've been hearing kind of mixed things about this, but I'm so intrigued. So this one is kind of a story within a story. Let's see. It's a mystery within a mystery in motion with a deceptively simple Dear Hannah, what are you writing? Pulling us into this reading room at the Boston Public Library, where I think there's 4 people are together, 4 strangers. They're there writing their books, and a horrifying scream is heard while they're in this room. The security guard takes charge and instructing everybody to stay put, don't leave until the threat's identified. So these 4 strangers, they all sit together, they pass the time like having a conversation, striking up some friendships. They all have their own reasons for being in the reading room that morning, and it just happens that one is a murderer. So I'm excited to see where this goes. Again, I've heard mixed things, but I think I'm still gonna pick it up. I think it's still gonna be good. All right, I got 3 left for you guys. Next one I have is Vacation Land by Met Mitchell Moore. This was the last one I put on here. I wasn't totally sure about it, but I couldn't stop thinking about it, so I'm kind of in for it. So we have Louisa. She is kind of run away from her problems. She's decided to go to her parents' house in Maine for the summer with all 3 of her kids. A barely written book and a trunk full of resentment. So she leaves Brooklyn. She leaves her husband behind, who has promised one final round of fundraising and he'll be back into family mode. She's not totally believing him. She just needs to get away. When she gets there, she finds that all isn't quite well with her family. Her father is a retired judge, pillar of the community, and is suffering from Alzheimer's. Her mother is pretending everything's fine, yet the next second not pretending everything's fine, and then everything's fine, and she's all over the place. And one of Louisa's children happens upon a very confusing and heartfelt letter referring to something Louisa doesn't think her father could have ever possibly done. Louisa then finds out she's not the only one searching for something in Maine. There's Christy. She took the Greyhound bus from Pennsylvania with a suitcase, $761 and a whole lot of baggage. And she has a past that she's trying to outrun, a secret she's trying to unpack, and a new boyfriend who's so impossibly kind she can't figure out what she did to deserve him, but she can't keep her various lies from colliding forever. As June turns to July, turns to August, secrets are unearthed, betrayals come to light, and both Louisa and Christy will find themselves what they are owed and what they owe others. So it intrigues me. We're just gonna go with that. Next one you shouldn't be surprised about is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. Comes out June 21st. I'm so excited. I really hope it's the book of the month pick in June. That'd be great. Don't know what it's about. Don't care what's it about, other than I think it takes place on a lake. Casey is a widowed actress trying to escape a streak of bad press. She's retreated to her family's lake house in Vermont. Armed with binoculars and several bottles of bourbon, she passes the time watching a couple living in the house across the lake. Make for good viewing. Okay. One day, Casey saves Catherine from drowning, and the two strike up of friendship, but the more they get to know each other and the longer Casey watches, it becomes clear that Catherine and Tom's marriage isn't as perfect as it appears, and Catherine suddenly vanishes. All right, I'm there for it. We'll see. I'm excited. And the last one I want to talk about is historical fiction I'm excited for by an author that I've been recently fallen in love with. It is The German Wife by Kelly Rimmer. I love her. I read The Warsaw Orphan. It was fantastic. And that one comes out June 28th. So we have Berlin, Germany, 1930. When the Nazis rise to power, Sophie and her academic husband benefit from the military ambitions of Germany's newly elected chancellor. Even though they're fiercely opposed to Hitler's radical views and joining his ranks is unthinkable, it becomes clear that if Sophie's husband does not accept a job within the Nazi ranks, their income's going to be taken away, and their children and their lives. And then we have Huntsville, Alabama, 1950. So we have 20 years later. Her husband is one of many German scientists pardoned and granted a position in America's space program, this is where I was like, I need this book. For Sophie, his wife, this is a chance to leave the horrors of her past behind, but when rumors about the family's affiliation with the Nazi Party spread amongst their new American neighbors, gossip turns to rage and the act of violence that results in tearing apart the family and leaves the community wondering, is it an act of vengeance or an act of justice? So I just feel like I don't think this perspective of post-World War II has been written about, at least that I haven't seen. So that's what has me really, really excited for that one. So those are 6 books that I'm excited to pick up in June. 7 books, oh man. Doesn't mean I have them. I have a couple of them as NetGalley arcs that I'm hoping to get to. But those are on my radar. I'm super excited for all of them. There's so many good books coming out. If there's any of these on your radar, let me know below. If you've read any of them, give me some thoughts. Otherwise, if there's other books I should keep my eye out for, I'll take those too. So comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you next time. Bye.